Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 back with another episode. Listen, tonight it's going to get heated, I believe. Tonight, I'm probably going to be fighting for my life. Tonight, I'm going to be hoping that Steve does not post my address on social media, but I will be sticking to my guns. Steve, before we get going, guys, please hit that subscribe button because you may not want to hit it after this conversation. And
Yeah.
tell them what we're talking,
Yeah,
man.
it's like when you don't want to tell your mom bad news when she's had a bad day. You want to tell your mom bad news when she's had a good day. Um,
Fact, fact.
hot debate around town, man, and I really did not see this coming. Like from listen, I don't watch other podcasts, but I see thumbnails, I see stuff on Twitter. I rarely listen to the radio. Every time the last 2 days I've caught anything Detroit Lions related, it's been Daniel Jones. Should the Detroit Lions sign Daniel Jones? Is Daniel Jones something that the Detroit Lions should do? William, we've kind of
Yep,
hinted on this the other night. We're focusing solely on the quarterback position, solely on
yep.
this offense, solely on the Detroit Lions and Daniel Jones. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You doing it, not doing it. I just I just can't get behind you, Will. I'm usually with you. I'm usually in lockstep with you, but I don't.
Hold, hold on. Wait.
Two thumbs up. Wow.
Listen, listen. Now, a lot of you guys got into the comments of our news rumors show, right? And it was just this much of it, and then you guys just killed me. Like my feelings are hurt. Steve had to wipe my tears away. You guys got after me, and I can respect other opinions, man. But let me tell you where I'm at first. I tried to do it a little bit there. I didn't think that it was going to be this big of a deal. So let me tell you where I'm at. How often? I can't remember what was Danny Dimes. Six overall, first round, sixth overall pick.
He was a top
Yeah.
10 for sure. Yeah, that
Yeah.
much I do know.
So how often do you get an opportunity to have a sixth overall pick, no matter how good or bad, fall into your hands, right? Again, we're talking about having backup quarterbacks before the likes of Nate Sudfeld and David Blau. I'm not saying anything negative on Hendon Hooker. Listen to me. Will likes Hendon Hooker.
Does
Hendon
Will does
Hooker
Will like Hendon Hooker?
I like I like Hendon Hooker. Say it with me. Don't tell Emily. Will likes hookers, right? Or a hooker, not hookers, but I like Hendon Hooker. Let's not go too far. But when you think about this, we have an opportunity to acquire sixth overall pick, playoff experience, veteran in the league, Danny Dimes for $375,000. One season if we only want him one season, and the option to have a compensatory picks coming our way or a compensatory pick. I just don't understand the negative of it. Not saying that he's going to be automatically the QB2. He's going to come in and compete for the job at QB2. What I am saying is Hendon Hooker has done nothing to prove that he can come in and lead this thing to the promised land if need be. So why not have him compete with Danny Dimes? And if Danny Dimes doesn't do a good job, just send him packing and on his way at the end of the season. No harm, no foul. I don't understand why that's such a horrible idea. Now, Steve, I can respect that you don't agree with it. Like you don't necessarily want Danny Dimes in, but the people that are coming for me saying that I'm an idiot, the people coming for me and telling me that I don't know football, the people coming to me that just telling me that I'm just dumb. I don't understand. Six overall pick, past six overall pick, getting him for $375,000. Only got to deal with him for a season if you want to, or maybe he catches on. Now we have three quarterbacks. Now we have another draft or another trade piece for somebody to acquire. Right. I just feel like, and then if I'm Danny Dimes, why wouldn't I want to go try to win me a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback? And maybe I catch on and stick around. I just don't. It just makes absolute sense to me. So, Steve, am I crazy? I don't know.
I'm going to tell you something, William.
Talk to me.
If we're taking a guy just because he was a top 10 pick, then maybe we should have went out and got Zach Wilson. He was a number 2 overall pick. I mean, if
Are
that's
we
the
picking Cougars? Are we picking Cougars? Or are we
yeah,
picking?
just keep your mom and your women over 45 away from him, and you'll be okay. If we're just doing all that, then maybe we should have signed Zach Wilson when he was a free agent. But listen, you can get drafted in the top 10. Teams are quarterback hungry. Teams want to take a gamble on a top 10 pick in the draft, and that wants to be a quarterback because you get that fifth year option.
Yeah.
The Giants messed up. They drafted Daniel Jones. I didn't think he was a top 10 pick coming out of the draft, honestly. Like, we weren't podcasting back then, so that's not on record. You just have to take my word for it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever had an elite season. I don't think he's ever had a
2022, he went crazy.
Crazy.
Let me
What did he
wait.
do in 2022?
Let me go ahead. You keep going. Let me dig
Listen,
into
all right.
that.
Okay, so he had one good season, all right, against trash teams in the NFC East where they've been beaten up. I don't think Daniel Jones is coming to Detroit. I'm okay with it if it's QB3. If they designate right off the rip, hey, QB3, because what I see is Hendon Hooker's been in these offensive rooms for the past 2 seasons, learning our system. Now, if I have to hand Daniel Jones the keys in a playoff game, what's that give him? 4 or 5 weeks to learn our offense versus a guy who's been here for 2 years studying his ass off with a busted knee. Now he's finally getting some real practice time for a full season. I can't give Daniel Jones the keys. I think that sends a terrible message to Hendon Hooker. You can talk about competition, but I'm talking about who's getting into this game. It's got to be Hendon Hooker. That's the guy I trust to run Ben Johnson's offense. He's more familiar with it. Listen, Daniel Jones is just not a good quarterback. All right. The Giants messed up when they drafted him. I don't think he was a top 10 pick. They messed up this past season. If you guys are familiar with Hard Knocks in season, they followed the New York Giants this past year, and their GM was he's getting criticized right now. He's getting hammered like to the ground, and rightfully so, for what he did with Saquon Barkley and what they did in their draft process. The coach was kind of hinting without saying it, like, I need a quarterback. Okay. He wasn't saying it directly, but you could tell Brian Daboll's body language. I need a quarterback. That's what I was getting the whole time I was watching this. This was before the NFL season started. They drafted Malik Neighbors, hell of a receiver. I thought he was maybe the number 2 receiver in that class behind Marvin Harrison Jr. Great toy, pretty toy. You got to have someone who can throw him the football. Daniel Jones has not been that guy. Now you got a diva wide receiver who's going to get pissed that he's not getting the football. He'll probably be out of town in 5 years because he doesn't want to stick around there with Danny DeVito or whatever the hell his name is. Tommy DeVito. Sorry, Danny DeVito's the little, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just, all in all, I just think it sends a bad message to Hendon Hooker. Like, okay, I'm all for competition, but if we get down to it, who's coming in the game?
I love it, and I love where your mind is, and I love that you can articulate reasons why you feel a certain type of way. Not that just Will's just an asshole. But anyways, 2022. All right. Danny Dimes, 3,205 yards, and 5 interceptions.
Okay.
That what are we talking about?
How many touchdowns?
That's some good football. 15 touchdowns.
15?
That's some good football.
That's it.
That's some good football. I'll take that. I'll take that in a heartbeat. Right. The ball was going to Saquon Barkley. Like, what are we talking about? When he was throwing it up, it was play action. That dude he's got good feet. He can run the ball. I'm not here
telling you real quick.
Yeah.
How many games did he play in that season?
Did he play all 17? 16 games. 16 games.
1 touchdown a game, William.
Listen, he's not turning the ball over. Like that was Trent Dilfer's claim with fame. What did Ray Lewis tell him? Hey, man, listen, just get me to what, 14 points, 21 if I'm lucky, and I'll win you a Super Bowl, which he did. Listen, Danny Dimes isn't coming in to be the greatest thing in sliced bread. He's coming in to try to save a season, similar to like a Nick Foles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't. We know that he's not the greatest thing ever, but what do they say? A lot of times, a new place can give you a new opportunity to be successful. I'm not saying that this is going to be the answer. What I'm saying is the risk / the reward is there. I don't think that it sends a bad message to Hendon Hooker. I think that the Detroit Lions are always on an up and up. Dan Campbell spoke about it the other day, in his press conference. He said, listen, do I think that Hendon Hooker is ready to play the football that Jared Goff plays? No. But do I think that if something happens, he would just have to be ready? Yes. And we would have to change the way that we played and called games because of it. We can't call the same game with Hendon Hooker right now that we could call with Jared Goff. Will there be a time where we can, and then some, because of what he can do with his feet? Maybe. That's yet to remain to be seen. But what I'm saying is, we have no evidence that Hendon Hooker can lead this team right now, right? So why not have an extra piece to come and compete? I'm not saying just turn this thing over to Danny Dimes. I'm not saying just turn this thing over to Hendon Hooker. I'm saying, why not spend $375,000 to get a pass number 6 overall pick, to come in and compete with your darn near rookie backup QB because he didn't play last year. So really, this is his rookie season. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Why not just go sign Cam Newton? That's a former number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner, NFL MVP. You only need to win one game.
I'm not saying one game. It could be a playoff run. And I think at
Then
this
give me a
current
guy who's
moment,
been to a Super Bowl, Cam Newton.
in this current moment, right? In this current moment, now old school Cam, yeah, give me that guy. Give me that guy. But Cam currently, he needs to stick to his podcasting, man. The body has been busted up a little bit, which it happens to these NFL guys. For me, and I'm not saying that there aren't better guys that potentially, hey man, why not call Tom Brady if we're just talking about calling anybody? I'm calling Tom first, right? But
It's fair.
for what's on the table, $375,000. No risk. You can just get rid of them at the end of the season. No risk to you. Why not get them in there, have them compete, and see what happens? Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's better than Hendon Hooker. I'm not saying that we should get rid of Jared Goff and just go to Danny Dimes. I'm not saying any of this craziness that people are hammering me on in the comments. I'm just saying, why not give it a look? Is all.
You want to give something a look, William? You want to give something a look real quick?
Talk to me.
All right. Since you said let's give it a look, I got something we can get a look at right here. All right. Let's just give this a look.
Oh God.
Jones
Oh God.
gets a block, takes off, and he is.
There's no one there but the ref. There's no one there at his own 2 feet.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you see that sniper? Did you see that sniper? There was a sniper sitting
I'm
at the
glad
top
you
of the
said.
stairs.
I had that queued up, waiting for you to say some keywords like "let's have a look."
Oh my God, unbelievable.
William.
Set up again. I can't believe this. Listen, we're supposed to be dogs. This is round 2. I'm coming for you, just so you know.
Video evidence doesn't lie. All right. I just can't. I just can't with Daniel Jones. Listen, and first and foremost, he's came out and said he wants to, and this doesn't make sense to me. Let me just get that out there first. He's came out and said that he wants to be picked up by a contender.
I know.
Okay,
As
Daniel
he should.
Jones, most team, if you want to, and now it depends. Do you want to be picked up as a contender in a backup role, or are you wanting to be picked up as a contender with a starting role? Because
I mean,
that's not going to happen. Because if you're contending, that means you're winning football games, and you're probably not going to be making a change at quarterback. The price is right for the price is right for the Detroit Lions. I'm not worried about the money. I just listen, this guy, I honestly get more excited watching Hendon Hooker play football in the preseason than I do watching Daniel Jones put socks on. Okay. The guy just doesn't, he wouldn't motivate me to punch my way through a paper bag. He's just not a guy that I would rally behind. I think that the Detroit Lions have watched Hendon Hooker rehab. The team's more behind him. Absolutely. And listen,
you would rally behind him?
I think the team would rally behind Hendon Hooker in a certain situation that I don't even want to put into the air. When you were watching preseason football, who was the one guy you were more excited to watch on the Detroit Lions team? Who was it?
Sione Vaki.
Stop it.
Stop
it, Ringo. Okay, yeah. Like, you can see that there's a talent there. And we've seen it a little bit, like just in practices or just watching him throw the football. It just comes off his hand different. And Ali McNeil said the same thing in his podcast. Like, when he throws
like
the
butter.
ball, it just comes off his hand different. I think he takes our game to a new level. He can't do a lot of things Jared Goff does, but I think he does everything Daniel Jones can do, plus some. That's what we're arguing. We're not arguing about Jared Goff. That's the guy. Just between the two quarterbacks, arm strength, talent, able to run without tripping on your own 2 feet. Like, it's got to be Hendon for me.
Listen, Stephen J. Perkins told me.
Oh, right? Throwing out middle initials too?
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I don't want people to know your middle name is Jesus. But anyway, listen, you had said before, and I'm gonna hold you to your word. Hendon Hooker has not proven anything just yet. Not saying that he doesn't have all the potential in the world, because he does. He has great potential. And I'm not saying let's turn this thing over to anything else or anybody else. But what I'm saying is this: the Detroit Lions are in a situation to where we are on a Super Bowl type run. We have a Super Bowl caliber team. I want to dot every I. I want to cross every T. I want to have contingencies for contingencies if we can. I think it's a great contingency to have Danny Dimes in the building. Is he going to be the answer? I don't know. But I also don't know if Hendon Hooker is the answer. So let's have as many answers as we can, is all I'm saying. who knows if he'll win the job or not. He might get there and Hendon says, hey, listen, I'm the sheriff here. Yeah, I got this backup job on lock. Maybe Danny competes, man. Nonetheless, I think he doesn't come here and get worse. It would be a great opportunity for him to learn under Jared Goff. And like they say, iron sharpens iron. Our Campbell, our coach says this, Dan Campbell, he wants to get as many dogs, right, in that kennel as possible so they can get in there and get after it and compete. Why not have another dog or another piece and so we could see if they can turn into a dog or not? A lot of people were talking about Jared Goff coming to Detroit just kind of as a bridge quarterback. Why can't somebody else like Danny Dimes revamp their career? Maybe even if it's just to get here, get better, and then we ship him off the following season to another team after he's had, I don't know, 8 weeks or whatever it comes down to learn from Jared Goff, be a part of a winning culture, and just get geared up to be a better quarterback for the future.
I'm literally only good with Daniel Jones as the emergency quarterback, and that's not a role he's going to want to take with the Lions. He's going to want to at least go to a team with like a borderline quarterback controversy, and I don't know who those contenders would be, but it's not the Lions. I just think if I'm Penei Sewell and something happens to Jared Goff, I don't even like putting that on the world. Last time I talked about an injury was Aiden Hutchinson, and the next 2 days later he got hurt. So I don't even like having this discussion anymore. But if I see someone running onto the field to take Jared Goff's spot, I'd rather it be the guy that I've been in meeting rooms with the last 2 seasons, the guy that I've watched on the practice field, the guy that we've overcame somewhat adversity all through the season, instead of shit, man, hey, here comes Dan. Great. Like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, but that would also change real fast if the play doesn't match. Like, so we could all be rallying behind this guy, but if this guy's out there playing like Danny Dimes was playing for the Giants, then the rallying will go out the window quick, and we will be doing like this, like you say. Get him out here. Get him out here right now. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I just want to have options, man. I'm not trying to give Hendon Hooker's spot away by any means. I like Hendon Hooker a lot. I loved him at Tennessee. I think that he is a phenomenal talent. He's got phenomenal potential, but talent doesn't always pan out in the NFL. They were saying that Caleb Williams was the best thing since sliced bread, and he's having his struggles right now. So who knows? I just want to have answers and contingencies. If for any reason we have to have somebody come in and do a little time out there, or the Detroit Lions are 10-1. We could be easily sitting in a situation where the last 2 games of the season don't necessarily matter, right? So if we get Hendon out there and we find out that he's not necessarily ready yet, do we want to push him out there and potentially ruin him, i.e. like guys like Joey Harrington, you know what I mean? Or do we want to send somebody else out there and just keep allowing him to develop at his own pace? I don't know, man. I just like the thought of having a number 6 overall pick for $375,000 and nothing on the books for next year that you have to worry about just excites me.
I was just Googling real quick to see what Tim Tebow's up to, because I think I'd rather have him as another option too if we're just throwing out options. But I mean, I don't know. Hey, he's busy on Sundays, man. He's preaching the word, and all respect to that. Hey, I get it, but I don't know if we could get him out of the church. So maybe Daniel Jones is the better option. I don't know, but I just think it sends the wrong message. We're obviously on different ends. It's not often we're on different ends. Where it's very rare. Like 1 out of 100, I think. So this is just one of those times where, who are you with? You Team Steve, Team Will? I'm sure that Team Steve is probably going to wipe the floor with this one. It's probably not even going to be close. So just leave it in the comments. Team Steve.
Be nice, guys.
Team Will. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that, because Will's heard it all these past couple of days. So leave it in the comments. Stick around. Hit that like button, guys. We'll be back later with another show.